In our other video, we explained the theory of imaginative education. We talked about how mythic and romantic cognitive tools are especially relevant to middle schoolers. Now let's take a look at some ways we've applied mythic and romantic cognitive tools in Teams units and lessons. One cognitive tool that resonates with middle schoolers is considering the limits and extremes of reality. In our lesson, Return to Earth, students become immersed in the story of the disastrous Apollo 13 mission of 1970, a riveting crisis that is filled with extremes of reality. Students get to know Poppy Northcutt, the first female engineer ever to work at NASA's Mission Control. They follow the journey of astronauts who are on their way to the moon, the farthest destination humans had ever reached. And they watch the unfolding of an event, the explosion of an oxygen tank, that left the astronauts in danger of losing their lives. All of these elements capture students' imaginations and engage their emotions. Binary opposites are also an effective cognitive tool, and Return to Earth is full of those too. One example is danger versus safety. The explosion put the astronauts in grave danger, and NASA's engineers had to figure out how to get them home safely. Another is success versus failure. Apollo missions 11 and 12 made it to the moon, and Apollo 13 didn't. But saving the astronauts was a breathtaking success. Heroic figures also abound. Poppy mapped out the pathway for the spacecraft's return to Earth. NASA engineers designed a filter that kept dangerous levels of carbon dioxide out of the air. And of course, there were the astronauts themselves. It's not just Return to Earth that uses these cognitive tools. All of our units and lessons do. In our lesson, Summer's Garden, students meet the real-life heroic figure Ron Finley, a self-described gangster gardener who overturned a law about where gardens are allowed to be planted in his city. Binary opposites include the contrast between city spaces and green spaces, as well as high versus low population densities and the good versus bad things about living in a city. Students explore extremes of reality too. They see a garden that's completely cared for by a robot, and they make their own predictions about what they could design for cities of the future. For example, in Summer's Garden, students see photos of their city's spaces, explore local maps, conduct interviews, and watch videos about innovative garden designs, all to better understand population density and imagine how they would redesign their city. Together, transmedia storytelling and IE are a great match for creating worlds to explore while emotionally engaging students in what they're learning.